My name is Ronald Sevier. I'm a field engineer for Royal Electric. So we're out here in Watsonville, California, working a TI project here at Westridge. We have been on site since February, and I don't think we plan on leaving until December, mid-December, late January, I would say. We're completely gutted this building, and we're going to be redoing all the electrical, rerouting different electrical panels in the building for better access, and there's also going to be a lot more offices and meeting areas than there were previously, so there's a lot more roping and roughing in to happen than we expected. Working with the general contractor, Otto Construction, has been great so far. Ron Cheshire, their superintendent, is really helpful, super informative. If we have any issues at all, he's the first one that we reach out to, and he's the first one to help get us answers. All their project team has been great, super helpful, really communicative. So they've been excellent to work around and work with. I started construction when I was 19 years old, fresh out of high school. I started in the refineries for PMI as a laborer. I continued that journey for about 7 years. I actually went into some warehouse work after that and decided that wasn't my career path. Construction just stuck out to me. Hands-on work, always being in the field. So I came back into construction a few years later after moving around a few times, trying to figure out what I really wanted to do. And I started with Royal in 2021 as a project assistant. I worked at SFO for a few months as a material handler helping out, and then I was asked to go down to LA for a few months to give them a hand in materials and whatnot for different projects that we had down there. After about 4 or 5 months, I would say, I was promoted to field engineer, and that's when I landed my first project at the Oxnard Airport in California. I had honestly never experienced a promotion in my history. I mean, apprentice to journeyman labor is not necessarily a promotion, but I mean, from project assistant to field engineer was ecstatic. I was ecstatic about it. And I'd always looked for something to, like I said, to move up. So it still means a lot to me to this day, to be honest. And I look forward to my future with Royal. As a field engineer for Royal Electric, I start and help with the morning huddles, daily huddles, toolbox topics. We go through all the plans, any RFIs that we need to address, safety concerns in the mornings with the crew, basically all documentation of the job. I like to make sure I get plenty of photos throughout the day, communication with the crew to make sure that they're on top of what they need material-wise, help-wise, basically anything that they may need, I'm there to lend a hand. Luckily, Mike and I have really great communication. Working with him has been great so far. We've been together on a few other projects, working side by side before he was a foreman, and it's only snowballed into a better relationship here. Our communication is, in my opinion, A1. Anything that he needs, then he reaches out to me for, it's done. Consider it taken care of. I like to be able to help him and free him up so that he's available for the crew as needed. So if there's anything inspection-wise, paperwork, documentation, he does not stray away from asking me to take care of certain things for him, so that way he can take care of what he needs to do as a foreman. I'm learning a lot of the electrical aspect of construction. Before, as a laborer, I didn't really understand or know much of it because my job wasn't electrical in reality. And now, being here with Mike, he takes the time to explain things and show me things that I should and need to know. And that helps out a lot in the long run because it only helps develop me into more help to help the crew. 10 to 12 years of laboring actually exposed me to a lot of different safety concerns, issues, and situations that I've had to overcome. And it really helped me transition into this position as a field engineer because I can recognize those hazards from the outside instead of being hands-on in the work. so I can help better identify them before they happen or before we come across that issue. It has also helped with me helping the guys, you know, because sometimes I need to jump in and lend a hand and I'm not clueless as to what we're doing on site. Luckily, I have been exposed to a lot of the things that we need to do, and I'm able to perform the work with them instead of being shown every step of the way, you know, to take time out of their day and our production. I'm able to jump in and really help out and make a difference when needed. What I really like about Royal is the communication that the whole team has together, from project managers down to the apprentices. We all like to throw ideas out there, especially when it comes to safety. It's great to hear from everybody, whether it be the project team or an apprentice, because we don't think of everything. You know, one mind can't think of every solution or every possibility. So it's great to hear from other people as well, because they see it from a different standpoint than we do sometimes. And that really helps, because sometimes we're not out there or with them 24/7. So they see things and they experience things that we do not. And they may have a better solution to it than we do. And I think that's the best part, is coming together and figuring out how to solve that problem together as a team, rather than just one person saying, hey, let's do it this way. We all come together as one, but as a team to take care of it. Our safety culture at Royal is nothing short of exceptional. We have more than enough support from our whole safety management team down to the workers. You know, we all have support no matter where we need it, how we need it, and when we need it. It's always there. And what I love the most is if you see something, say something, because that holds up around all the projects I've been to. Luckily, everyone does their diligence to say something if they see something wrong, and for us to get it corrected, or whoever it may attend to. It could be the subcontractor, it could be the general contractor, but no matter what, if we see something, we do say something to get it corrected so that no one is in harm's way. So it's taken many years to be able to identify risks, because nothing comes overnight, and you don't honestly know even what you're looking for half the time until you see it. And that helped a lot, especially laboring, because I was exposed to framers, electricians, plumbing, all the different trades and all the different things that could happen on the job site. And that really helped transition me over here, because I'm able to see, which we have all those subs on site. We have framers, we have plumbing, we have electrical, we have laborers, we have, you name it, we have it here right now. And it helps a lot to be able to recognize these different things, because I was already exposed to those situations. You know, pipes laying on the ground, nails in wood laying upside down, easily step on. And it's just nice to be able to walk through and be able to notice some of these things to protect our crew, rather than letting them go out and be exposed to that stuff right off the bat. So depending on the severity of the risk and the hazard at hand, we will document and reach out to our safety team and the GC need to be, or the subcontractor that the risk belongs to. It really all depends. Certain things is a quick fix. We pick some stuff up, throw it in the trash, get rid of the tripping hazards, hang cords up, get rid of different hazards that are just present every day. Some things though that are a little bit more serious, we have to bring attention to different people. That way they're aware of it so it doesn't happen again. But there is an extensive documentation process that can happen, and definitely if it needs to be. But there's also, on our heavy jobs that we use daily, there are observations that we like to get in at least once a week of something either good or bad. And we either praise ourselves or different subs or the general contractor, or we have to submit a negative, which is something that could be something in the future that could harm, or something that needs to be corrected right then and there. My role is to be as present and as accessible as possible, to be able to be hands-on with the crew, because no one's better than anybody. We're all here to perform the same job, we just have different roles, that's all. And that's one thing I find major to keeping morale up, is always being out here, always lending a hand, always asking them, do they need anything? Can I help you with anything? Can I get you anything? That goes a long way with a lot of guys, because a lot of people in other trades, they don't ask to help people like that. Some guys, don't get me wrong, they lend a hand, but there's some people and some different areas that aren't as friendly and aren't as willing, you know. And I think that's what separates us, especially with field engineers, is we are there to support everybody, not just the foreman and not just the crew, but we're there to support both. That way everyone can continue doing their job and not be as stressed out as possible, you know, because when you're stressed out at work, you make mistakes. When you make mistakes, you cut corners. When you cut corners, things happen and you can get hurt severely. So that's one of my big things, is being present and being mindful of how they're doing as well. You know, I'll pull people to the side and ask them if they're okay if I see that it looks like they're having a rough day, just to know that someone cares. You know, that's a big part of it. And I see a lot of people struggle sometimes and they don't want to talk about it. I totally understand. I've been there. And but at least they know that I see it and that I care, or someone cares. So I'm always here. When I show up to work, I'm here to work. I got to leave the negative baggage at the gate when you come through. Like I said before, anything could happen, and when you're in a negative mindset, things can go wrong quickly. For myself, the stress relief and whatnot, I play a lot of golf. That's always nice. I don't do a lot of working out, unfortunately, but I mean, my next best thing is probably I just go to the beach. That's where a lot of my stress is relieved, is at the beach, watching the sunset. It may sound kind of funny to some people, but that's what works for me. You know, being alone is not always the best thing, but in situations, sometimes that's what has to be done. But I definitely like being outdoors. That's number one for me, is being outdoors. That's a big stress relief, because being inside 24/7 and being depressed or, you know, down on yourself is no way to be.